Thunderbirds, I'm Monty, and welcome back to the Totally Radical 80s. Today, we'll be taking it back to when things were simple. The only music we had were cassettes for our Walkmans, and listening to the Smiths was still considered cool. When you look back at the teenagers of the 80s, it's hard to believe that we've entrusted the reins of our education to those slackers. It's totally bogus. Let's take a look now at what our teachers were really like back in the decade of success.
I'm here with class of 1985, the one and only Miss Gavigan. Miss Gavigan, what was your fondest memory from high school in the 80s?
Oh my gosh, definitely the clothing and the music. It was the best music of all times.
Was there any bands or any artists in particular that you were listening to during that time?
Of course, the only band, Motley Crue.
Do you have any cool pictures in those yearbooks that you want to show us?
Oh my gosh, you mean the yearbooks I brought from home from the 1980s? Because 80s Day is coming up? I always bring my yearbooks to school with me around 80s Day.
What is your guys' favorite thing about the 80s?
Probably my favorite thing about the 80s was that I met him on November 1st, 1986.
Oh, so cute. Okay, what was your guys' favorite band from the 80s?
My favorite band was definitely Journey and Pat Benatar.
And those two and AC/DC were my favorites.
Ooh, good one, good ones.
What car did you drive back in the 80s?
I drove a 66 Mustang.
Whew, all right. What kind of music were you listening to?
I was obsessed with the Doors, like Hairspray Rock, Skid Row, and stuff like that.
Wow, that was heavy. Let's throw it over to Allie for sports.
Thanks, Monty. In sports, just before school started, our T-Bird water polo goalie, Christine Carpenter, traveled overseas to Belgrade, Serbia, to represent our country in an international tournament. Let's go to that report now.
Number 1, Christine Carpenter.
Gold medal winning goalie, and of course our Thunderbird goalie, fresh off a 10-8 win over Greece in Belgrade, Serbia. So Christine, how long of a flight is it from here to Serbia?
It's about 12 hours, but we also had to do an additional flight because we had a layover in Austria, so it was the 12-hour flight to Austria and then about an hour to Serbia.
How many other teams were there?
There were 15 other teams in the tournament.
So was it like competitive to you when you first arrived there?
We had a few easy bracket games against Uzbekistan and Japan, and then we also played Greece another time in our bracket. So we had 2 easy games when we got there, and then the rest were kind of tough.
Okay. And then can you describe what it feels like to represent USA and win it all?
Wow, that's a hard feeling to describe. It's unbelievable at first. You don't really realize that you've won a world championship until about a few days after it's happened. And it's just, I feel so honored to have been able to represent our country over in Europe. The best memory was throwing my coach into the pool at the end. That's always fun. He did like a cannonball. It was so funny. But just every time they played our national anthem on the stage, I'd always get some goosebumps. And it was just really cool to stand there with such amazing women who I've had the wonderful opportunity to play with. So those are my favorite memories.
Congratulations, Christine. We're very proud of you. And everyone, be sure you all let Christine know how proud we are to have her represent us as a country.
As you have seen, not only did Christine represent our country, but she also brought home the gold medal for the USA and was MVP of the championship game. Congratulations once again, Christine. We're all proud of you. Back to you, Monty.
Thank you for that bodacious report, Allie. That's all for Thunderstruck, but stay tuned, because this is just part 1 of our most triumphant 80s editions. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes!